There's a life cycle involved here. There are three stages. They apply to both data quality and data pipelines. The first stage is to validate and detect. So you want to validate that the data is accurate, timely. You also want to detect issues. So this involves looking at patterns, finding breaks in the patterns or anomalies, finding outlier values that are different from the median or the mean. You also want to identify failures, components, pipelines, and so forth, and errors. Could be user issues that proliferate or user errors. It could be machine errors. Second stage here is to assess and predict. You need to triage issues, measure their impact on business, trace workflows, look at using traces, using logs and metrics and tying those things together to understand the different chain of events that could be contributing to an issue and proliferating its damage. You want to correlate disparate events in your environment and then isolate root causes. That brings us to the third phase, the third stage, which is to resolve issues and prevent future issues. We talked in the start. Your number one goal here is to prevent issues from affecting customers, and that involves fast resolution and proactive identification. So resolution can involve controlling issues, minimizing the damage, debugging pipeline code, optimizing, for example, by tuning different infrastructure that contributes to pipelines, and cleansing data. So data observability seeks to fix issues and improve the uptime, the quality of the decisions that the business is making, and also improve cost. So let's go to the next slide. Let's dig in a little bit further. I won't spend too much time on this, but it's important to know what exactly are we monitoring here? What are we observing? When it comes to data quality, we're looking at two different types of elements, data at rest and data in flight. And you're going to learn about several different tools here that take different approaches and might have a focus on data at rest or a focus on data in flight. By observing metadata and samples of data, you're going to get a sense of the health of the data in flight or the data at rest by looking at primarily 5 different indicators. One is validation. Is a value correct? Is a set of values correct? Another is distribution. So you don't necessarily have all the time in the world to check every cell in a spreadsheet. What's the distribution of values? Is that different from what it was yesterday for an operational report? What's the volume of data that's coming in? If that volume spikes or changes without a valid business reason, then you might have some quality issues that need to be addressed. Another is looking at the schema of the data, the structure of it. And another is looking at lineage, its provenance, who's touched it and how's that how's that influence quality. When it comes to data pipelines, we're looking at different elements, the source, memory, clusters, and so forth that are contributing to data transfer, the landing zone, the target, and then the application that's consuming that data. And you want to understand through logs, traces, and metrics, the health of those pipeline elements. Indicators of that are going to be, is that element up or down? Does it have uptime? What's the latency, the throughput, number of concurrent users supported, and so forth. So that's just a sort of a high level view of all the different signals and all the elements involved.